stars in the sky, all the lines on the highway. Oh, they keep us coming alive. Grab my hand in the dark, lightning straight to my heart. Oh, you get me every time. All the stars in the sky, all the lines on the highway. Oh, they keep us coming alive. Grab my hand in the dark, lightning straight to my heart. Oh, you get me every time. Do anything, yeah, got nothing to lose. All I need is beside me in the front seat. There's something about you, been rolling in me. Some kind of new American dream. Is time playing tricks on us? The way that we're moving, the days feel like hours to me. And still through it all, I believe. Your life is a song, it's a sweet melody. Your story is whatever you want it to be. We're in this together, one family. Your life is a song beautiful to me. Breeze comes to lift us up in the still of the afternoon. I'm reminded of love coming to fill up my cup. Your life is a song, it's a sweet melody. Your story is whatever you want it to be. We're in this together, one family. Your life is a song beautiful to me. Beautiful to me. Your life is a song, it's a sweet melody. Your story is whatever you want it to be. We're in this together, one family. Your life is a song beautiful to me. Boom, boom, boom. I've been running from 9 to 5, been biting my tongue for all this time. Won't let anyone cut me short. I was thinking this was the way to go, and you put up your puppet show. I say cheers to life. No, I'll be no good man's wife. Just leave me alone. I'm running the show. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. No, you better go home. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. So I woke up, sun in my eyes, forgot all about what I did last night. What I do remember that it was real, real Don't live life the way that I should, oh well. I'm in for some fun tonight. Just leave me alone. I'm running the show. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. No, you better go home. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. Hey now, don't be shy. Follow my lead if you wanna be mine. Hey now, it's you and I. We could be the next Bonnie and Clyde. Hey now, don't be shy. Follow my lead if you wanna be mine. Oh, it's our time to rise up. Live the life we're proud of. Just leave me alone. I'm running the show. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. No, you better go home. I'm telling you, it's my time to rise up. Live the life I'm proud of. Hey now, don't be shy. Follow my lead if you wanna be mine. Hey now, it's you and I. We could be the next Bonnie and Clyde. Hey now, don't be shy. Follow my lead if you wanna be mine. Oh, it's our time to rise up. Live the life we're proud of.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ladies' Night. It is Thursday, February 24th, 2022. Welcome to the show tonight. It's a big, hot show. A lot going on out there in the world, as you guys know, between Russia, Ukraine, and the truckers. So we plan on covering that. We hope we get a lot of information and feedback from you guys, too. Also, we're going to do some call-ins a little bit later on as well. We'd love to have you jump on panel and give us your thoughts and what you've heard if we don't cover something that you know about. And I'm excited about this show tonight. I'm all pumped up, but I'm also excited. It's bonus night for you guys because guess what? If you haven't heard, Mike is going to do an afterglow after our show tonight, and he's got Jeff B in the house, and they are going to cover some major stuff as well. I don't know if you guys have been following Jeff B's Telegram, but he had some interesting information on his Telegram channel. So I'm really fired up for the show. I'm happy for you guys. I'm glad all of you are here tonight. You all seem like you're in a good mood and ready to go. So with that said, let's go ahead and bring in my partners in crime here, Mary Kay and Scad Warrior. Hey, Mary Kay. Hey, Scad.
Hi, guys.
Hey, beauties. How are you guys tonight? Scad, you doing
fine.
good? Oh, you got the hands tonight. Instead of the finger like Captain Finger, you got the hand. Mini hands. All right, we love that. How are you doing, Miss Mary Kay?
I'm doing fantastic. Really fantastic. Thanks.
You look lovely in yellow. Scad, you look great in red, ready to go here.
Thank you. Yes.
I kind of should have got a bright color. I'm kind of dull here today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a good background.
You are never dull, Tammy.
Okay. I'll take that as a compliment, Mayor. All right, so it's been a good day. It's nice and warm here in Georgia. I'm in shorts, you guys, not to rub it in, but it was a great day. It flew by. It was just great to be out there and feel the sun, have some sunshine, have some warm weather. And it's just spring is getting ready to spring, and spring is getting ready to sprung, or sprung is spring. What is it? I'm a little bit, I haven't even had coffee, so, but yes, Scad, go ahead.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So Mary Kay, I know that Thursdays are pretty busy for you. Yes, still the same this morning.
Yes, yes, really busy. I've decided to double down on my Spanish. In these days and times, you never know how long they're going to keep something open and when they're going to lock it down. And so I'm heavily involved in Espanol.
Oh, that's good. That's a challenge for sure, you know.
Mhm.
Like I said, I had it 3 years in school and I loved it, but I forgot most of it. So, you know, it's always good to be able to refresh it. Yeah, that. So maybe I'll hit you up for some audio lessons sometime down the road.
Good luck with that.
Good luck, Tammy. All right.
Mhm.
Well, I was going to wait till Scad got back to open in prayer, but I think why don't we just go ahead and have you open us up in prayer if you don't mind, and we'll get this show on the road real good here.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's so much going on in the world. Everybody in chat, please stop typing, bow your heads, and let's go to our heavenly creator. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. And we pray this in the name of Jesus the Christ. Bless this show. Bless everyone who calls in. Bless all those people in Ukraine right now, in Odessa that are fleeing, all the people that are dealing with everything that's transpiring in the Ukraine. Lord, we just lift up our heads and our hearts. We claim wisdom, discernment, and the knowledge of God the Father Almighty. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Mary. Well, you know, I'll tell you, there's so much popping in the news and across the internet that basically I've been on it like 3 or 4 hours just looking over stuff, and it's just frankly overwhelming. So I do have a lot of notes so I could make sure I kept track of everything accurately. Because as you know, here we want to give intelligent information. We don't want to, you know, lead anybody astray or whatever. Not saying everything we say is absolutely correct. That's the disclaimer, the only one I'm going to give, because at Liberty Warrior Nation, you know, you people know what you're going to get here. But like I said, it'll be interesting to see what the audience has to say tonight, what comments they have, what they've heard, because they are participants as much as we are on panel here. So I guess we'll just go ahead and get started with this. To start off, I saw a video that Putin did, and basically it was a recorded message that he put out. And he was stating that he only authorized 2 places for special missions to occur that were under kind of disputed areas and stuff. And I guess apparently not even 10 minutes later, he was in the same outfit that was on this video as well. He had Kiev hit with missiles, rockets. The airports were taken over, and you know, both of them just already taken down. Also, the port was taken over, Odessa, as Mary was saying. So basically, you know, he was hitting Belarus, Belgorod, and Odessa. So apparently, the opinion is that he's going in not only trying to take over a major part of Ukraine, but also to split it in half. And he's trying to reset the boundaries from Cold War times. And he wants to destabilize the power over there in Europe and basically, you know, just trying to cause the chaos. So it's very disheartening when you look at all the different videos of the people and what they're going through in Ukraine. It is very sad. It is very troubling. And there are a lot of videos out there. It doesn't take much to look and find out what's going on. There are things out there that people are saying, you know, it's really not happening and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, you can have that opinion, but when you look at some of these videos, it's hard to kind of dispute that. You guys have any thoughts on the start of all this?
I do, Tammy. Somebody that I frequently listen to is Sid Roth. He's been around
A
forever,
long time.
and he's a Messianic Jew. And just a few minutes before it was time to come on, I saw that he had just posted a short video, and it was an interview with a pastor in Odessa that Sid has coordinated with through the years, doing various evangelical kinds of events in Odessa. And this pastor and his family heard the bombing start, and the pastor said that he was about 2 miles. I like eyewitness accounts. You know, this
Mhm.
was the man being interviewed, and it was a pastor. So we'll hope that that this was accurate information. But he was approximately 2 miles from the bombing, and he said he thought that the target was a military base there, and as soon as the bombing started, because there has been a military buildup on the borders for some time, he and his family loaded up, and they were out of the city, and they lived in an apartment only 10 minutes from the city center, and they were out of there in no time. The first border, they tried to cross the border into Moldova. And if you look at a map of the area, I kind of like to see what's going on. And so I was very interested in the map to see. And so Moldova, the country of Moldova, is not far from Odessa. So they threw their 4 kids and as much as they could take in their car and headed for the border. But the first border that they got to was packed, and they sat and prayed, and God told them about another border that they had forgotten about. And so he and his family turned and went to this other border and got across easily. And as soon as they got across, then they were watching in their rearview mirror, and there were many vehicles. And within a very brief period of time, I think I recall he said uh, that martial law was implemented within about 30 minutes. And that meant he could not have left with his 18-year-old son. And their martial law locks everybody down except for people under, I forget the age, maybe 12 and over 60. But so things are happening there, and a lot is changing in the world, and many prayers are needed.
Yeah, I read that Zelensky had to make that announcement from his phone because everything else was taken out already, and that was a very unusual move for him to notify the country that way. And Scad, I'm going to get your thoughts on it as well, real quick. I'm going to put
Okay.
up there. Salt and Mud had said that they're using old video, so what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to take the information that we have and report it, and then we'll get to all this other stuff that is the theory behind what could be happening. So we're going to cover basically what is going on, what we see. And then those of you who are saying, it's a false flag, it's this or that, that's cool because I want to have a conversation on both sides of this. That's what we're here for, is to have conversation and try to figure out what's going on with the information that all of us are finding, and what's being brought forward and put together by all of you in chat, as well as all of us on the panel, because it is a very troubling time. It can be very scary, obviously, but then you have all these different avenues you can go on, and when you get out there with what's happened in the last 24, 40 hours, it is like overwhelming with the amount of information. So it's important that the viewers here also participate and help us spread more information of what's going on. So, Scad, what are your thoughts so far on this?
I'm of a little different persuasion. I don't think he's trying to put the USSR back together again. There were a lot of people have used the word drains on the USSR system. A lot of people took, but they didn't contribute. I don't know reason why, and that was back in the 90s. I have no idea. But that it would not be efficient or prohibitive of him to put the USSR back together again because he wouldn't get anything out of it. He would lose resources by doing that. So I'm not sure about that. Anything's possible. And as far as the footage, I don't know. I'm not buying all of it.
Okay.
There's a whole lot to protect there from a whole lot of people. And it may be the last ditch effort. Like, if I can't have it, nobody will. So I'm just going to blow it up. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. That's just my persuasion. I'm kind of looking at this sideways, I don't believe all of that.
Well, it's good. That's why we're having these conversations with the amount of information that we're pulling up and we found, and we talk about it. So, I mean, it is America. We should have somewhat freedom of speech, right? And freedom of thought still. We're hanging on to the last few shreds of it that we have. And I noticed in chat, Ron was saying that Carrie said that all of this is a distraction from climate change. So I'm assuming he means John Kerry. So that's kind of a lame little comment there from somebody that had office. But also, I don't know if you guys heard this today as well. Putin came out and said any interference from anybody, he made a statement that says you will have consequences that you never had before in your history. Right. Basically, the nuclear thing. Okay. And then I saw it was validated apparently by Zelensky that they do have control of the nuclear facility there in northern Ukraine. Now, I saw video footage of it, which if it's real or it's not, I don't know, but it's tanks surrounding it. I didn't really see people or anything. I just thought this is kind of calm and quiet for that. But I did see that. So, we've been hearing that N-word threat for a long time. So
did he actually use that word?
In a different, yes, different video he did. Yes, absolutely. So I find that very curious. But, Mr. T's always talked about and said to him and others that if you come at us, you will face. So Mr. T has said similar strong statements when he was president about that as well. So I found that very interesting that he would kind of copy his statement. I don't know if it means anything or not. But
I think he's copying a lot of things. I think he is now, just my opinion. Okay, trying to keep it a little light because it's so serious. But I think that maybe Putin's trying to make Russia great again. I think he's looking after his own country like everybody else should, which is what Mr. T said. Everybody take care of your own people first. And I think he's trying to make Russia great again. I don't know to what degree or what part of it or how, but I'm kind of along that vein.
Tammy?
Yes.
One thing that's interesting to me, and I really do hope some of the people in chat who are knowledgeable will participate tonight, because we need everybody joining together to try to sort through what may be true and may not be true. But the thing that I thought was fascinating, and I don't pretend to know anything about it, and that's why I'm bringing the question up. They surrounded Chernobyl. Nobody wants Chernobyl. That place was so radioactive. They couldn't. And so I don't know if maybe I missed it. That could very well be somewhere in the last few years that they did something to make that nuclear plant actually functional again. But I'm very curious about that. I didn't have time to research that, but that when they said they had surrounded Chernobyl, I was like, why?
Why?
Is that the plant that they're talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of documentaries on that, and there's an awful lot of moss and vines and God knows what, and God knows what kind of animals running around. And I don't see that. I don't see it.
That's what, it didn't make a bit of sense to me.
No.
And I
You
don't
can't,
know
you can't
if
even get near it, or you become. I mean, you're exposed. It's I don't know. I doubt all the. I don't know. I just don't think that's right. I don't agree with that.
Well, that's why I said the video that I saw that was supposedly the tanks around it, it looked like a fountain or a beautiful paved way. And I thought,
CGI.
yeah, that's not how that place looks.
No.
And I'm like, hey, they've done some remodeling. I thought that was, you couldn't
No,
get
the
near it. Like
tundra
you
is
guys, yeah, you
taking
guys.
it over. No.
Yeah, exactly. It makes absolutely no sense. But did you guys catch this? While these strikes were going on, these initial strikes, China sent 9 fighter jets and 1 reconnaissance plane into Taiwan, kind of under the radar, figuring, okay, we're looking over here, so they're going to be over here doing whatever they're going to do. And so some of the so-called experts are saying, cyber warfare is ready to go down and all this. So of course everybody's jumping on all these different kinds of bandwagons, but as you said, really there's not been a lot of time to try to decipher and shift through all the different things and the updates that are going on out there with all of this. And somebody in chat was saying optics are important. Yeah, they are. The media is only going to show us what they're going to show us. You know what I mean? And how trustworthy are they? We haven't trusted them for a while. So
there's a reason we're speaking code. They're not very trustworthy.
Yes. Well, the interesting thing too is with the pipeline being shut down, Putin apparently was in a meeting with the Pakistan leader, because he's pushing for a new pipeline to go from Russia to Pakistan back and forth, because he's looking for a way to outmaneuver the US and Europe sanctions. So that doesn't look really well either, because now really Russia can trade petroleum for all the other assets throughout the world, because we've been importing the Russian oil because our pipeline's shut down. So
Day one.
Why isn't Mr. B out front and center saying, hey, and opening up ours and trying to get those barrels of oil back down, the price down, and bringing all our energy back to us? Because, they can get the electrical grids, this and that. I mean, he so far, nothing.
I saw a funny comment earlier today in chat somewhere, and it said that the current press of the apparent press of the United States, that Mr. B's plan to deal with Putin is to implement sanctions, and by doing that, he would hope that Putin would die laughing.
Yeah, well, he did give sanctions after everything happened. Yeah, he did. That is funny.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just some of it already isn't making sense. Like I said, if it's real, it's just, you don't want to see. Like I said, I've seen the videos of people fleeing, attacking Kiev and all that. It's very distressing and disturbing. But I do have a Ukrainian friend whose family still is in Kiev. And I talked to her the other day. Obviously, this wasn't going down yet, but she hasn't called me yet and worry or concern yet. Maybe she's trying to get a hold of family members or whatever. But usually she keeps me appraised of the situation there with having family there and stuff, because as we know, Ukraine is very corrupt, very crooked. And we know, and they've validated it. Some of the stories they've told me about the existence there when you're visiting there or living there, what these people deal with on a daily basis with the corrupt government is just unimaginable. But like I said, we really don't know yet. We have to wait and see. But I just really think that it's amazing that China did that and went in and started activating their little missions and stuff like that. So Pompeo also came out with remarks today. I don't know if you guys saw that, but he was talking about, they were asking him what he would wish Biden would do. Like, if he was still Secretary of State and that Pompeo, what would he advise him to do? And he said he should come out there and say, this is how we need to unify together and why stability matters. and why we need to bring our natural gas and oil right out and get control of that again. And immediately, like you said, put sanctions on to everybody to have NATO be able to do its job to make sure Russia doesn't continue anything further. Were you going to say something, Mayor?
I was just going to say that Putin, another quote that I heard was Putin said that they were going in there. And I thought this choice of words was extremely interesting for the denazification of Ukraine.
Yeah,
And
I've heard that elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. And so, that would imply he was getting rid of all the corruption that is going on there. There's so much we don't know. There's so many distractions. Think about, the truckers and in various places in the world. And I've seen several comments in chat about gasoline. And if Putin is trying to get a different pipeline going there, a fascinating thing that's going on, as y'all know, I like to watch both Canada and Mexico. And here in Mexico, over the last year, I have seen the Mexican government. Mexico has a lot of natural gasoline. They have a lot of natural assets. It's a very, very wealthy country in terms of those natural metals and gasoline, that sort of thing. But they don't have any refineries, none. And so within this last year, the government of Mexico has purchased a refinery in Houston, Texas, a very large refinery. And I saw it announced today that the current government has not renewed any import contracts with other countries. In other words, the article that I read was in Mexico Daily, was stating that at one point in time there were almost 1,000 trade contracts with other countries to import processed gasoline from other countries, and now they're less than 80, and they have purchased this refinery in Houston to refine their own gasoline. So it's like all kinds of things are happening about these natural resources all over the world. And I would love it if somebody in chat was really very knowledgeable about the oil and gas industry, because I think that has a lot to do with it. What do we talk about all the time? Follow the money.
Mm-hmm.
And the family members of the crack smoking computer weirdo that is the son of our current head of the United States, has all kinds of contracts about oil and gas in Ukraine. So all I'm saying is there's a lot of stuff, little things bubbling up all over the world. And I truly wish, and maybe tonight on the Afterglow with Mike and Jeff B and whoever else might be there, I really hope that somebody who is very knowledgeable about oil and gas will come on and maybe fill us in a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. T said that the president of Mexico was a wonderful, smart man, and he really admired him. And maybe he's taking a page from T's book, too. Maybe he's taking care of his people. Maybe he's going to make Mexico great again.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hate to tell y'all what our price of gasoline is.
What?
You want to hear?
Yeah.
It's about, let's see, now I use diesel in my car, but I paid just right at little over 20 pesos. That's $1 a kilo.
Yeah, there's taxes.
Not a gallon.
Tax. Remember a long time ago at the pump, there was a little yellow sticker with black writing that said 99 cents or whatever of this gallon is tax. Those stickers aren't there anymore. They haven't been there in a long time. Because I think people would be really mad if they knew how much tax was on it.
And so that's a great question. So why am I paying $1
Yeah.
and move north of the border and everybody up there? You know, there's just a whole lot of shaking going on, guys.
That's what she shook when you said that.
she's down with what Mary had to say right
she's
there.
got it.
Well,
Smart dog.
another interesting thing, you know, Article 4 has been implemented, okay, which is the territory is in danger. The military could be called on. Political risk, and the government could be taken over. So Article 4 has been implemented. Now, NATO could also invoke Article number 5 if they are willing to battle Russia and Putin. And all it would take is one NATO country attacked. And if one NATO country is attacked, and it's all the smaller countries, because with him doing this, if it's real or whatever you want to think, and he gets away with it, there's nothing to stop him from going to these little tiny countries, okay? So what that would allow to happen after that is they would start deploying 10,000 of the NATO troops at a minimum. And then you could do more and more, which would lead to the WW3 that people are worried about. And that would be crazy, because I've got it on here with the troops they have with NATO troops. If they deploy all of them and the different kind of troops that are around over there, they will have 256,000 troops that they could utilize to stop or hope that it would deter Putin, from going any further, because they have them all across, like Estonia, Germany, Poland, Ukraine, obviously Romania, Bulgaria, and all these different places. And Russia supposedly now has about 150,000 plus troops along the Ukraine border. So the numbers are bigger at that point at the start. So we'll see if that gets enacted or what happens if they want to take it on. But they're believing that Putin wouldn't want to do that. He wouldn't want to take all that on. You know, he's talking the talk, but I mean, what does he have to gain walking the walk, pulling that end button? So I'm not sure. So it's just like you said, there's just so much, and there's so many moving parts that it just gets like basically overwhelming. And I saw pictures today also of thousands of protesters outside the embassy in Russia, you know, demonstrating against Putin's invasion of Ukraine. So far, I think about 1,700 or more people have been arrested. But I mean, they're standing up, standing out. And we're seeing that more and more with people taking action. We talk about people taking action. And at a time like that, I mean, it's amazing the courage and the strength they have. I guess they figure they have nothing to lose. I might as well get out there and do something. And that's wonderful. You know, I mean, I pray for them and I worry about them, but we'll have to see.
Tammy, someone corrected me. Thank you so much. Whoever did that. As soon as I said kilogram, my mind went, that's not right.
Liter.
And somebody corrected me to liter. You know, I'm still trying to learn all the different measuring systems. But liters, not kilograms. Thank you. I'm always open. Correct me anytime.
Yeah, me too. I don't have a problem with that. I didn't even catch that either. I was fascinated at $1. I'm like, I was thinking, what the heck can you even buy for $1 anymore? Oh, that's a sign of age showing, isn't it? It's starting to sound like my parents. Some people are saying that, you know, they believe they're over there closing up the dumbs, rescuing the children, things like that. Also, a lot of these strikes so far have been very strategic on government facilities. It's not civilian areas. It's been government facilities. And some of the labs that are supposedly U.S./cabal bioweapon labs, biochemical, I think, or biochemical, I think, labs, supposedly they were going after that too. So that's kind of interesting too, to me. Taiwan will be next. Ah, see, that's what they're saying. Do you guys remember Mr. T saying, just wait and see what happens after the Olympics?
Yes. Yes, I do.
That's kind of bizarre to me as well. That's another pause moment, because is that just a coincidence that he said something like that?
No, it makes sense. I mean, the whole world's watching, and there's peace, and there's all these ceremonies, and everybody's, clapping and, being very cordial to everyone and supporting everybody. But who wants to have a war when all that? I mean, people would have to leave. You would have to wait until after that. You just would.
Yeah. Well, Boris Johnson also came out and made a statement. I'm not sure how you guys feel about him. Well, I just saw how SCAD, that was kind of self-explanatory there. But he actually came out with a statement too and said that he's vowing to hit Putin with a massive package of economic sanctions designed to upset the Russian economy. He said the prime minister was saying that the UK can't turn the other cheek and just look away. So here we are, China, Taiwan, now UK. I mean, it just keeps spreading. I kind of had that same reaction with him too, but I found it ironic that he said this. So what are your thoughts on that, you guys?
Tammy, wait.
What happened? Oh no. Did I do something?
No, I'm laughing at myself. I want everybody in chat to know you have just ruined my day. My math was totally wrong on converting gallons to liters. I thought I was only paying $1 a gallon. Y'all have ruined my day.
It's a little less than 4 liters in a gallon. Gosh, you can't do anything anymore. You can't have anything.
Y'all are just
always something to mess it up.
I mean, this is what happens when you're 70 years old and you decide to move to Mexico. Your math doesn't always work.
It's just the new math. It's okay. It's the new math.
That's it. It's new math. Thank y'all for correcting me. But I want you to know you have really ruined my day. I thought I was only paying $1.
Gotta have laughter. You know, that kind of goes with the saying, it's 3 blondes here. You know, I think we're fairly intelligent, but we're allowed to have a little faux pas every now and again. And you know what? There's a couple of math people out there that came forward and helped us, so we certainly appreciate it a whole lot. We're just going to say that again, reiterate. Okay, let's see. See a map of all the military flights around Ukraine. Unbelievable. Yeah, there's been tons of air traffic, of course. It is overwhelming.
Does anybody know if Monkey has said anything? I would trust what he said. If he said anything, I haven't heard. I haven't looked for him, but I'd be interested in what he has to say.
Yeah, I really followed him a lot, but I haven't made the time lately. Like I said, this is all just breaking and stuff is just popping left or right. It's just insane. So I just haven't checked with him at all yet either, to tell you the truth. But okay, so let's get on to a little bit of the theory. Have me tickled. Well, thank you, Elaine. I'm glad that we have you tickled. We tickled ourselves there for a moment. Also, and I've seen this in chat, that, let me see. Oh, Monkey wasn't on today. Got sidetracked again. Thank you, Phyllis, for letting us know that. So he didn't have any updates for today. Also, Russia's captured the sky, yes, and they're focused on the runways. Okay, yeah, too. And also the port in Odessa. So they've captured that as well, apparently. But the theory is, as well as Russia is taking out the bad folks, the Ukrainian cabal, so to speak.
That's what I think.
So as this unfolds a little more, and we find out more information, maybe we'll be able to use a little more discernment and see and try to compare notes and compare the things that we've found out. And also some are saying that it was the bioweapons labs that he was going at, not biochemical, bioweapon labs that are supposedly taken out in control. And, if you watch this pattern of what's going on and you start putting in order from what Mr. T has said to, after the Olympics to what's going on now. And don't forget, in 2018, I still think this was substantial. In Helsinki, Putin handed over Mr. T that soccer ball that supposedly had that information chip or whatever in it.
Yes.
And, like I said, we've never seen his son play with the ball, or Trump play with the ball, or nobody plays with that ball. That ball just kind of disappeared. It's not displayed anywhere. And, in a lot of pictures that you saw of Mr. T when he was president in the White House, and in the different tours, interviews, he always, in behind him or around him, displays his different little pictures and different things that he's experienced as the president. And I never saw anything about that soccer ball. I could be wrong.
I was going to bring that up. I'm glad you did.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just observing. I remember the same thing, and I also think it was kind of odd that Melania's dress, when they left on Air Force One, which isn't typically done afterwards, had the same shape. The hexagon, I believe it is, all over her dress. And did you also realize that the dress went from dark to light? There's a lot of cues, CUE, in that one snapshot. There was a lot going on there. And I thought the same thing about the soccer ball. I also remember a couple of times when Vlad and T would see each other, they would both light up like, oh, you're my lost brother. You're, like there was some genuine feelings there. And I think that was respect and admiration going both ways, and intelligence, because Putin's very intelligent, going both ways. So that's why I'm kind of reserving, agreeing with everything that's being shown right now. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't think so.
Well, a couple of things I want to bring up. Jeff B, it's up on the screen here. It said, so Putin starts to invade another country. All major cities still have electric, no takeout of command and control. That's another pause point. Good point, Jeff. It just, a lot of stuff it doesn't add up and make sense. So it's good to obviously get the information now, talk about it. I mean, I write a bunch of stuff down and then try to cross-reference it like in a day or two, or as I find out more information, just to try to make sense out of any of this. Not that I'm going to be able to, but you got to at least try. And let me see, a couple people here. Salt and Mud said that the bioweapon labs in the Ukraine are funded by the U.S. 7 of the labs were taken out. So see, that's more detail. I just caught it that supposedly they were hit, and now here's details about 7 of them were taken out. And then
plus, I wonder if communications are cut off. If communications are cut off, then nobody can get the truth out.
Yeah, that's another good point. I saw Tina had posted something in here I wanted to cover, but that this chat goes away and I can't see what it was. She was talking about Monkey. Apparently he did an update on Tuesday or something. But this is what's interesting too, because who has all the dealings in Ukraine? Who has them there?
The B family. The B family.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of them. Can't even speak the language. That's amazing, right? Can't even speak the language. And it's just, I don't know. The whole thing just makes me sick.
It really does.
It does. It just makes me sick. The whole thing, that all these people being harmed, and I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about the little people being harmed, and people making bukus, more money than I could ever count, even with a computer, over all this stuff and all the evil. And it's not just us; it's the whole world goes through there. All the laundering, all the, everything. It's. I think that's why he's there, to get rid of that. That's my opinion. I think he's a white hat.
Well,
I just saw Jeff B ask the same question about why, they're at why Chernobyl. It's radioactive, and
Yeah, you
we've
can't
all
get
seen.
anywhere near it.
Yeah, you can't get in, and that when I first saw that, I thought, okay, something is truly wrong here.
Something's amiss.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a I would think a big clue right there, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very big.
Yeah, definitely. And as we move on into the truckers and more of the false media projection of what's going on, the truckers have that 11-day window that they're leaving from California to DC to have their voices heard. We all know about that. That's what's going on. Apparently, they're not there to block in DC. They just want to block maybe the causeways of Maryland and Virginia, clog that up a little bit or whatever, so they can get their voices heard. They are apparently cooperating with authorities as they make their way through, as they travel.
It used to be clogged up every day for 5-6 hours total, but now there's nobody there.
That's another good point. As we move
Beltway
into
was
this,
packed, because I used to go up there quite a bit. The Beltway was packed from 5:36 till 10, and then again from like 1 to 7, going the other way. There's nobody there now.
so what is your opinion on that, Scad?
I don't think they need to go to DC. What's there to gain? I think they need to go to the capital of the blue states. That's what I think they need to do.
Well, this is what I.
Oop, lost you. Uh-oh. You there, Mary?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What
There
do
we
you
go.
think about going to the capitals of the blue states?
I'm with you 100%. There's nothing in, it doesn't appear that there's anything in Washington, D.C.
No.
with the various people, Richard, citizen journalist, and
No.
Nancy.
Well, I was there last May. I went to pray over the Capitol when they put the fence up there originally. There was nobody then. And now it's, that's just wrong. There's nobody there. I've been there. I've seen it myself. And the IRS is boarded up. People, I've seen it.
Well, I know that we've heard that parts of some of those buildings were moving out of there and stuff. And so we heard from different things that it's partially closed because they're moving out, the employees are somewhere else. But then when you watch some of these videos, a lot of these businesses are closed down permanently, like not returning.
There's no restaurants open. There's no couriers running down the middle of the lanes anymore like they used to. There's nothing there. There's nothing going on.
Yeah, I didn't know very well because I've only visited there, but the experience, I don't have the experience that you have being there, but all the videos and all the different people that, are on YouTube or whatever that you follow that give the live videos. Yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm like, even in any of the museums or anything that have opened up.
They've been shut for a long time. I went up there in May. They were shut then. They were all shut down then.
Well, the thing I was going to bring out about the news station, the channel that I saw, there was a reporter in front of the it was the Capitol building saying that we've got these fences up for protection. It was the West Side or whatever, and saying that it's for protection for when these truckers come and all this and that. But that fence has been there.
They've been there.
I mean, it was just a blatant.
They must think we're stupid. That's the name of my playlist, by the way. They must think we're stupid. Hop over to my channel and check it out. Mm-hmm. They must think we're stupid. There's all kinds of things like that over there. And they really must think we're stupid. Chernobyl, really? Like, who's going to believe that?
That's a very good point. Yeah. And who's going to believe that about the fencing on the west side there?
The IRS was absorbed into the Treasury. I mean, I don't know. I just know what I see, and that's what I saw, and it's not what they're saying.
Right. And I think Mimi probably has a good point that the truckers have a plan that they have not yet
I
disclosed.
hope so.
Because really this got organized and put into action pretty quickly, if you
Mhm.
think about it. So, they must have been planning for a while, because remember we heard rumors and rumblings that it was going to
Yeah.
happen, and then it never did. And then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
boom, here they all are going all these places. But, all this stuff, if it is going on and true, is definitely going to affect us. It's going to affect us in so many different ways, with the economy, with the stock market, the gas pump, which we've kind of covered already, travel plans, hotels. I mean, everything is going to go up. It's going to just the economic impact of all this, were it to happen and be real, is going to be huge. Food prices, we've seen the food prices go up already.
Yeah, that's what B said. B said, I think it was today, a potato head, whatever you want to call him, said that inflation and gas prices were really going to go up now. I'm like, boy, isn't that convenient? That's so convenient for you, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
okay. It's, I don't know. That's
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe a lot of this stuff.
Well, the good thing is that there's a lot of people out there that have actual videos, and that are, street reporters, so to speak, or civilian reporters getting, and there's a consistency to it. You can look through the videos and you can see the timing of what happens when. And, like you said, in DC, a lot of it's been empty for a while. And that is the thing that is in common with all these video people. It's not, because some they say are real, some are not, some are planted, blah, blah, blah. We know that. But
Yeah.
the thing is, a lot of them have the consistency of is different days and everything, but they're going to the same locations, and
Yeah.
you're seeing the same results. No matter what they're saying about it, you visually see what is actually going on. And it's a lot of nothingness. And what happens a lot too is, with the Nancy lady, we'll say the Nancy lady, she, she's like right on it with like the Marine at the door, then the Marine's not at the door. And then she's done a great job covering of the Marine 1, 2, 3, or is there a Marine 1, and the schedules of, people. And a lot of that doesn't make sense. So if you see it, and she's got the schedule, or she's got the videos alongside of it, to me, that's pretty amazing. Because, we're all going to have opinions, of course, depending on how far we delve into all this stuff. But to see actual videos and cut it across a few different people, or when you're like, you cross reference with like Monkey with what's in the air, and you can go, I look at that stuff on the air too. I actually learned from him that flight tracker. I mean, I used to watch the air like, 3-4 hours a day, like, and it was that whole thing when Air Force One was never flown. Well, it's flown a couple times since then. When I was like, it was always NA, or it was a SAM operation. Then the different planes. I learned all about them from him, so that was a great education process for me. Like I said, I haven't followed it lately, but when also what I learned from him is, remember, along the Florida coast and over near Hawaii and the California coast, there was a lot of so-called missing subs, and there were all these different scan planes and looking for different things going on. But that also, there was a time when we were hearing all those, well, it was called, like, it was a earthquake, but really not an earthquake. Like, remember,
Yeah.
people were reporting
10
hearing,
meters down. Yeah.
yeah. So that was a process of so-called dumbs as well, they were saying. And now here we're having it over there. So if you look at how you put all these puzzle pieces together and you start getting a picture, it may not be very clear, but to me, a lot of stuff makes less sense than more sense the more we see.
You know what, Tammy? That's a great segue into how do we deal with all of this?
Yeah.
How do we deal with all of this? One of the things that's happening right now for so many people is the awareness. Now, a lot of us have been researching this stuff for a long time, and everybody is learning whenever they can learn on whatever they can learn. But for a lot of people, their reality is being shaken to the core. They are just waking up to the fact that what they've heard on mainstream media for years, we've been lied to. We've been
Yeah.
lied to in education. I hate to say it, we've been lied to in not necessarily deliberately. Some yes, some no, but the churches. We've been getting erroneous information or not the complete information, and so there's just a whole lot going on that is really shifting people's entire reality base. And the only reason I'm mentioning that is because if the theme is darkness to light, which is what we hear a lot, we're coming out of the darkness. It's a new world. Things are shifting. We're moving closer to the power and the presence of God. It's the presence of the kingdom of God made manifest. And in order to do that, what has to happen? Everything that we thought was true or that we believed in has to be essentially erased from the whiteboard. There has to be a change, a shift in our perception so that we start to understand that the things that we have valued or have understood in the past now have no meaning. That is a psychological shock.
Oh, yeah.
A major psychological
Yes.
shock. And so if that means where we have thought we were being told the truth, we have been lied to, how do we begin to develop trust? And in what?
The Lord. That's all there
Exactly.
is.
Yes.
That's all there is. Doesn't matter who's, where, what. It's still a who. It's still a man. It's still a woman. It's still something that we've invented, something we've discovered, whatever. But that's all there is the Lord. That's why I think it's just, I don't even know the word. I've been trying to think of it for a long time too. Maybe somebody can help me out in chat, or maybe y'all can help me out. Just a tragedy, a catastrophe that these people don't know the Lord. How in the world do you get through it without the Lord? How do you get through an unexpected death? How do you get through, pick something, and to me, people knowing the Lord, people know the Lord and have a relationship, not just know him, there's a difference, have a relationship, then the rest of this crap won't matter. Because that's all it is. It's stuff that we've come up with. We're so smart, No, it's all him. We're just down here in our own little whatever, trying to get by. And to me, it's more important for that to happen. But you get taken down for that too. So I don't know. That's what I do. That's what I don't say I have to do. That's just what I do. And I block it out. I put in headphones. I do whatever I have to do. I just turn it off. I don't see any screens for a couple of days. I haven't done that in a while. Or I get on my channel and I say how I feel, or I find a new channel, somebody I've never seen before. It says they're a prophet. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. And I just look at different things like that, because to me, that's the main thing. All this stuff will pass.
Yeah.
And the psychological impact, it can't be minimized, because as people begin to understand that the colleges have been indoctrinating, not educating, that the grade schools and the public school systems have been really trying to inflict evil, where at one point in time the innocence of children was treasured and protected. And so there's a breakdown of so many areas of our lives that what I'm here to tell you and why I wanted to say that is we must recognize that as a good thing. Doesn't feel like a good thing. In our limited view of reality, it's painful. What's happening? We're losing loved ones to the C word. We're losing family members to the vacation who refuse to interact with us. We're losing there. So all I'm saying is there's a tremendous amount of shift going on psychologically and in our reality. And what I'm here to tell you is that it's a good thing. Why is that? It's because we are beginning to say, oh, maybe I have placed my belief in things that have no value.
True.
Maybe now it's time for me to reprioritize my value system. Maybe it's time for me to take a look at what is truly the most important in my life and start focusing on my family members, my friends that I love. What is important? The beauty of the sunset. In other words, I think this is a tremendous opportunity to move from focusing on the darkness, which is what they wanted us to focus on for a long time, and move through the fear of recognizing that all of this is happening. The fear will be there, and the fear of releasing the known and stepping into the unknown.
That's scary.
I mean, hold your nose, close your eyes, say a prayer, and jump in gratitude, and ask for God the Father Almighty to lead us on the correct path.
It's like I've been saying for a while, when these people wake up, instead of going, see, I told you so, you should have listened to me, we need to say, welcome to the light side. You're welcome. Come here. Let me console you. Let me just sit with you. Not literally, but just be there. It's really, really important because people are going to feel, some may be embarrassed. Some may be, oh my gosh, what in the world? And maybe they won't want to approach you because they'll be embarrassed, but we need to go to them.
Yeah. Yeah. We, being taught things your whole life, like Mary had said, and to find out a few things maybe aren't true, or they skewed a few things just for supposedly the benefit of society and to keep you from harm. Not anymore. You look at things and it is disheartening. And I know that there's a lot of the younger generation in their teens and even early 20s that are just very upset because they get it. A lot of them get it. They're paying attention and they're like, why is it that we're set up for failure at such a young age to go in debt to college, to where we can't afford a vehicle? How are we supposed to start a family or let alone buy a home? I mean, the prices of everything, it's like everything's structured to keep you broke and poor and under a certain amount of control.
Right. You are right.
So our job is to cut through all that and try to direct them and give them hope and make the changes. You're right, not to sit idle anymore. It's crazy how much it is for a vehicle or a home, a piece of land, how much that has gone up.
Well, to even rent, just to rent is absurd. Absurd. Absurd.
So the only good thing about it is families are being brought together because they can't afford to live apart.
That's me.
So that is, I guess, the icing on that, bad poo-poo cake is that you get to, in a roundabout way, you may not like it, but at least you can be around family and family can support each other, because so many people, it's the grandparents that are helping the children raise the grandchildren and stuff. So, I think we've lost so much wisdom in these last couple generations. So anybody that we have left, we should reach out to and gain the wisdom and the knowledge and the strength of the good old days, because the stories they have to tell have been far better than I think the ones that some of us have to tell. My best memories are from my youth and the grandparents and, the morals and values. So that's the thing that keeps you grounded in life. We have gone astray far too far, and starting to revere celebrities and stuff. And, the celebrities aren't honest and truthful. The majority of them, you pay them enough money, they're going to sell you anything. It's not like they believe in the product they're selling. It's how many zeros are after that product. Is it worth their time and effort? So when there's such a big disconnect from them to us, or the billionaires, look at how many billionaires there are now. And, that's just ridiculous to me. So you guys, do you think that we should drop the link and see if anybody wants to come up and participate in the conversation here?
Come on, people.
So if we could drop the link, that would be awesome. And I'll tell everybody a secret, because he's done fantabulous so far. Guess who's running the software, the show tonight? Oh, look there is the link. War Machine is behind the scenes tonight running the show, and he was a bit nervous, but I'm telling you, Chris, look at how good you've done. An hour in, no train wrecks or anything, smooth as silk. You got the link dropped. Now all you got to do is, when people pop up there, remember, just shoot them on in. You don't even have to tell me. But he's done a really good job. I mean, it's amazing, because that's intimidating the first time you do something like this,
Oh yeah, live, yeah.
Yeah, live, exactly. It's not like, it's recorded and you can edit through it or anything like that. So I don't know. So is there anything else you want to bring up about the truckers or anything, Scad?
Well, not the truckers. I ran across some information about Ukraine. If anybody wants to hear, or do we rather wait for callers?
Okay. We got a caller here.
Good, let's do that.
So go ahead, and then you can bring that up after, hon. Okay, go ahead and send her in, War Machine. Shoot her on in here, bud.
Who is it?
Crystal.
Yay.
Give him a sec here. You got it. Remember, you just have to toggle that blue switch over. He's going to be like, oh my gosh, Tammy, see, you said I was doing good. I jinxed it. Oh no. Com Sense, I see her in the, so he says it's not working. Crystal, do you have your audio or visual on, right? You have to have the camera on to get in.
Oh,
don't you guys? Oh, there you are. I hear you.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay,
Hello.
there she is.
Here we go.
We'll do John in a
How
second.
y'all
One second,
doing,
John.
beautiful lady?
Good. How are you, Crystal?
I am blessed every day.
Good, good.
One thing I wanted to get into is not to be mean. I trust no woman, no man. I trust my Lord God above. I stand on his word. I ask for discernment into what's going on. And I know, I don't worry so much, because I know if I'm not here, I'm with the Lord. So I just go to God every day, and I trust in him, and I believe that everything's going to work out. And we just need him in prayer. Don't worship no man down here to get you through this.
That's right.
You pray and let God get us through this, because
That's right.
he is a miracle worker.
Amen.
Absolutely. And pray for the people who are so-called in control, that they have the wisdom and discernment and are good. And the ones who are not good, get exposed, bring the dark to the light, every way, shape, or form. And I think we're going to be sorely disappointed in a lot of people that we thought were doing the right thing and are not. So that's going to be another crushing blow.
Yep.
The
We'll
ones
be
that have been
shocked. We'll
the
be
ones that have
shocked to
been
be.
bought out or sold out or any of that. It's a sad thing. You know, flip flopping. It's like a lot of people seem to be flip flopping.
He says everything that's done in the dark will be brought to light.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I just wanted to put my 2 cents in, and I love y'all. And I'm going to back down so somebody else can come in.
Well, it's good to see you. Thanks for jumping up, girl.
Good to see y'all too.
Okay, you can go ahead and bring in John. War Machine. Hey, Bree, it's good to see you. Hey, John, how are you?
Man, I am doing great, ladies. Wonderful show.
Thank you.
I'm a little bit tired. I have for the last 24 hours. It's been rather hectic for us researchers. And the understanding that this had to happen.
Yeah.
That it was allowed to happen. It was designed, and we're watching the battle, and it's one heck of a show. And the realities, you ladies talked about or someone maybe in chat brought up the bio labs in the Ukraine. And if you go and you use the internet and you search the existence of those biolabs and when all of that took place, concerns about them being in the Ukraine started way back in 2005. And the corrupt oligarchs that were running the Ukraine accepted the money from our Pentagon, and they do exist. And sure enough, when you look at where they're located, they have all been targeted in this mission by Mr. Putin. So, and if you listen to Joey Dimes and everything in the rhetoric that he has preached for the last month of Russia and the Ukraine, it is his lie. And what he does not want anyone to know, but Mr. Putin has been very extremely clear for years now, he would not allow NATO to weaponize the Ukraine. Yet NATO has done exactly that. And when I say NATO, the United States Defense Department and our military starts to open up biolaboratories, 5 in the Ukraine. That is a NATO involvement in weaponizing potential weapons in the Ukraine. When NATO in the last month and a half has been sending all types of military equipment, and it's the NATO countries and the United States, billions of dollars of military equipment flowing into the Ukraine from NATO. And now we're going to have media portray this as Vladimir Putin doing this, and Putin was clear and has been clear for a decade. I want no military activity by NATO in the Ukraine. I want you to commit to that. That's all I want is your assurances that you will not weaponize the Ukraine. And what has NATO done?
Well, the other thing they've done that they said they wouldn't do is expand.
Exactly.
It went from 9 to what? 16, 19, I don't know how much. It doesn't matter. They just do what they want to do. It's like I've told Mike before in the past. Well, what's going to happen? Nothing's going to happen to them. Well, guess what? Now something's happening.
Yeah, and then, when Sked, you're so spot on. I mean, this is, there's 2 sides to everything. One side can be spoken without censorship. One side can't be spoken because we're censored. I put up a post earlier today because I was, people are righteously concerned because it's war. We can see the missiles. We see what's happening. We see people, humans just like us, trying to flee, trying to exit.
Yeah.
And no one wants the loss of human life. No one. But these people that have perpetrated this and that are carrying this out, we have to look at what have they done on the world stage. And I wrote just a few paragraphs, and I'd like to read them if you girls got time.
Sure.
Humanity has been murdered by a bioweapon funded by U.S. taxpayers. Humanity has been forced into lockdowns that destroyed families and small businesses. Humanity has seen children forced out of school and forced into school wearing health damaging masks. Humanity has been forced to accept injection of the deadliest vacation in all recorded history. Humanity watched tyrannical governments beat and hold captive protesters. America has suffered massive censorship of truth. America has suffered CDC, FDA, DEA lies. America has watched a criminal doctor control a death that he funded. America has watched millions of illegals invade our sovereign nation. America has witnessed our government fund invaders and transport them into our homeland. America has watched communist leftists take control of media and civil discourse, cancel culture, limiting free speech. America has watched Congress pump trillions of dollars into our economy, creating massive inflation. American workers are watching the erosion of wealth and health carried out by government. America accepted a man with a demented mind to become president. As Americans stand to battle our tyrannical governments at the federal level, state, and local levels, we have been painted as domestic terrorists, racist, and many hateful lies. As truckers in Canada united, their communist leaders beat them in the streets and destroyed their accounts and their trucks. Our president supports the action of the tyrant. As American truckers unite, Dementia Joe arms the world for war. Study your history. America and the world are watching the capture of all of humanity. You better understand the true war. It is the birth of the new world order. Sleep well. You will own nothing and be happy. They are collapsing the global economy. Joey Dimes and Hunter fear Putin will reveal their mafia friends inside the Ukrainian government.
Yep.
Putin knows Joey Dimes is a traitor and has the bag man for the Uranium One deal. Just relax. What could go wrong? China will take Taiwan. Just relax. What could go wrong? Watch the water. What could happen in the Black Sea? Turkey for supper. And that's just a clue. When your criminal government sings the same song, it is the central bankers leading the choir. As for me, I will just watch the great movie play out. And I'm watching it and I'm very free of stress. I'm not stressed out about it because guess what? We have been told that this would play out
Yep, we were.
in the very steps that it's playing out right in front of our eyes.
Yes.
And our fellow Americans that have no concern about it and are just living their normal lives, thinking everything is as portrayed in the media, they're going to suffer a rude awakening, the Great Awakening. And that's what and we should be celebrating and having a little dance party, but we'll chill out because people aren't aware. Ukraine is where what the cartel is to Mexico. Ukraine is the mafia center for the central bankers, and that's where they carry out all their nefarious. You know, we got elected officials. Let's see, Nancy Pelosi's son worked and benefited and got paid from Ukraine gas and oil.
John Kerry's too.
John Kerry.
Oh, don't even get me started on that guy.
One second, you guys. Don't lose your thought. I just want to say real quick thanks. David, thank you so much for the super chat. We sure do appreciate your support. We're glad that you're enjoying the show. Mike also gave us a super chat, or he says he's going to be on 10 p.m. live with Jeff B. for the Afterglow. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you come back to see LW and Jeff B. And like I said, Jeff B. has been putting on a lot of good stuff on his Telegram. So we'll find out some stuff with that. There's a certain someone that he met with and talked to. And I'm not going to blow it in case you don't know about it yet. So I don't want to ruin the surprise. But go ahead, continue, John.
Yeah, so you got, and then Mitt Romney.
Ugh.
He's got, well, I mean, look, you got to take care of your children. And then we know Hunter's story, you know, taking down 85 grand a month and walking out, you know. And here's the thing about Vladimir. Vladimir dealt with HCR and Joey Dimes. And do y'all remember the videotape of Barack Obama reaching over and getting caught on a hot mic? Just share with Vlad, as soon as the election's over, we'll get together.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
yes.
Yeah.
See, we're putting the puzzle pieces together, John. We're putting it all together. I love it.
Yeah. So Vlad knew just who the traitors and the people that were willing to sell out the United States of America, that would be us, me, you, all of us. So he knew the traitors. And I'm going to tell you something about Mr. Putin. They can say just how destructive he is, because if you lie to Vlad and you cross him and you are of Russian descent, well, you're going to die. He's going to take you out. You're not going to survive it. I mean, he doesn't play. He doesn't mince words. He's straight up, and he is a loyalist to his nation. There's nothing wrong with that, folks.
Nope.
I mean, you know, over here in the United States, where we have a bought out, paid out Justice Department and court system, our very same leaders and corporate gods can commit all manner of crimes, and they know they're not going to have anything done to them. They're going to get a slap on the wrist and they're going to be turned loose, or they're never going to even be prosecuted. So these traitors became clear to Vlad, and he took the measure of a man, the old orange-head beast, They meet, they get together, and he has taken the measure of the man, and he trusts the man to be a man of God and to be a man loyal to the United States of America. And if you're loyal to your nation and you're loyal to your country, well, then you're a person that can be trusted. And the handing off of the ball and putting the ball in Mr. T's hands was by design. And what that design is playing out right before your eyes. When Vladimir said the other day 3 key words, and he did it in a speech, that he was going to complete, and listen to the words, a special military operation. He told you what he was going to do. He told them all. And he doesn't recognize Joey Dimes as being a president. He never has.
Somebody just said that somebody put out a letter or a audio or something. I think it must have been a letter that apparently Putin said Biden's not president of anything and hung up on a phone call with him or something. And
I saw that, and that was Phil Godlewski, and Phil put it out, and it had the redacted heading on it, but it was the phone conversation, the last phone conversation between Joey Dimes and Mr. Putin. And Joey Dimes starts out, and they have somewhat, but Putin interrupted him 3 times in a very short, brief conversation. But Biden started to exercise what he thought was going to be his power and his control, telling Vlad that he was in charge of the defense, and what are we going to do? And Putin said in no uncertain terms, "You're not in control of anything."
Boom!
And then Biden comes back with one more statement, and Putin says, "Well, I've had enough of this. Bye."
You're
hangs up the phone.
Nothing. Amen to that. Yeah. Real quick, I want to say thanks to Trinkets Delight and Lisa both for your super stickers. We appreciate it. Thank you, guys, so much. Trinkets Delight and Lisa. Yeah, go ahead, Scad.
I was going to say, if you remember back, the first trip that my stepdaddy took was over to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And he walked in that place like he'd been there before, like he probably had. He wasn't intimidated by all that palatial, blah, blah, whatever. And he told them, and he told the world, take care of your own people.
That's it.
Don't worry about anybody else's country. Take care of your own people. That's what everyone needs to do. He said it right then and there from day one, first trip. And then he went on to Israel.
Yeah, and everywhere in that little tour, and you just got to go back and you can find every single time that he was entering somewhere, he always had a file folder with him. Some larger than others.
Mary, are you saying yes, you've seen that too?
He did.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. So in that we can all some of us have been told what was in those files and what was in those folders and exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
To number one, to let them know that he was not going to tolerate their actions anymore. And there would be that he would end all human trafficking and child trafficking on the planet Earth in no uncertain terms. And they had to either you agree with this, and if you don't agree with it, here's what I'm going to reveal to your citizens.
Yep, but I think they had to literally sign on the dotted line.
Yes, ma'am. That's a fact.
Go ahead, Mary Kay.
And if they did not agree, they would be excluded from the new gold and metal-based financial system. They would not be allowed to participate internationally.
Yeah.
And that's the same place where he did that ceremony with the sword.
Sword dance.
Only the leader does, the big leader does. And the big leader was sitting there looking like he was going to cry. Well, Mr. T was out there doing the saber dance or whatever it is. I mean, there's cues and clues all over the place.
Well, there'll be,
trip was amazing.
Yeah, there's going to be things revealed about what actually took place in Las Vegas that'll give everybody insight to why they capitulated so easily in Saudi, because there was a prince involved that was saved by Mr. T.
That's another whole show, man.
Yep.
I mean, but
in the bottom line, and that's why I started out with the post that I put on Facebook.
Okay.
For everything that we as Americans are reality, just reality, no white horse, just the reality of what we have seen and everything that the people of this nation have been put through, are being put through, and then to have our president in his demented state talk to us and tell us that this whole engagement and our military warriors being placed in harm's way is about protecting the borders of the Ukraine.
Now, come on. Borders?
Yeah, let's use some logic.
Borders.
let's have some simple logic, folks.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll give you a good example too. I wanted to get my passport, and what you have to go through to get your passport anymore is insanity. That the cost has gone up. Then you got to get sworn in, a certain picture, blah, blah, blah. You got to make appointments. It goes on and on and on. A friend of mine got her passport a couple years ago, $55, 20 minutes later, her whole family was in and out. Yet all the people crossing the borders, not only do they get none of that, they don't have to worry about passports. I mean, look at all the freebies they get, the travel, the setup with money, et cetera, et cetera. And I thought to myself, yeah, I mean, I'm like, do I just need to fly and cross the border illegally like them and to get where I want to go? I mean, none of this makes sense. It just goes on and on. Every aspect of it all makes no sense. And when you look at Mr. T, when he was president, everybody was against that man. Everybody in his own country, everybody. And all the so-called people that are crazy and acting up now were silent and respected the man. So I'm all about call me crazy because you respect me then. Because look at the mess that we're in now. I mean, it's crazy. How can you think that Mr. B guy really is a functioning president? He's barely a functioning human being. So
Mr. B is bought. That's why everybody loves him. Couldn't buy Mr. T. He even paid for his own way to get where he was. I don't want to
Well,
say
and
the
you
word,
know,
but he paid for
listen to
everything.
what you know. We know this is a reality. Everyone knows that Mr. Durham is breaking. It's all going to come down around their ears. The path is set.
Can't
They
wait.
know that. What do you think that the Ukraine actually knows about Joey Dimes? What
Everything.
everything. If Vlad knows, everybody knows. And
Yeah.
here's the thing. This is a show. It's being perpetrated under the guise of protecting a sovereign nation when you won't protect your own sovereign
Wouldn't be the
nation.
first time.
And
Yeah.
then you're going to send up stormtroopers to assist Canadians in beating down their citizens. And that's what Joey Dimes did too. Because
Yeah.
I want everybody to go back and look at some of the beatdowns and what some of the tyranny that was exercised on those people, and then listen to some of those policemen. And I have a lot of Canadian friends. I've worked with Canadians, and I'm telling you, those were Americans that were speaking to those people. And there's just some things that a Canadian does and what they say and how they speak and their linguistics, and that was not Canadians. Some of those stormtroopers were transported not by the UN or any of that. I don't buy any of that. They were shipped in from the United States of America.
Well, they didn't have any names. They didn't have any patches. They
No,
didn't have anything.
no,
It looked
no.
like a mercenary.
They're stormed, and that's exactly what they were, Scad. You nailed it, sis. They were contractors. I can buy contractors. If you've got the money, you can get ex-military guys to go out and carry out contract work for you anywhere on the planet.
That's what they do.
Well, yeah, all you got to do is get on the 8chan, get on the dark web, and sign them up. Tell them what the mission is.
Go ahead, Mary. You wanted to say something?
Well, one thing I think that's very positive that's happening in Canada, and I've mentioned before that where I live, there's a lot of Canadians here. And so they are extremely aware of what's going on. And it's still astonishing to me how many of them support Justin Castro.
Ugh.
And how many of them, I mean, it's unbelievable. But a significant thing that has happened in the last couple of days is he removed the Emergencies Act, but just paying attention to some of the financial stuff, what I was hearing on a couple of the financial channels, that the only reason he removed that Emergency Act was because they needed to stop the run on the money in the Canadian banks.
Wow.
People were emptying out those banks as fast as they could.
Yeah, the ones that weren't frozen.
It's always about the money. Follow the money.
Always, Mary.
Always.
The root of all evil.
Yep.
Man, it's crazy.
So
And
I guess we can get ready for the Ides of March, huh? It's going to be a great month.
Yeah. It's terrible that it's just never enough for them. It's just never enough. The millions, the multi-millions, and then now billions. And the billions not enough. Multi-billion. It's just evil. It's bad. And so I'm hoping that a lot of what we feel and what we think is really true. It just too many things do not make sense other than when you start going back, John, all the stuff that you brought forth and the stuff that, we were saying about when Mr. T, the things that he's said and done. And it isn't about one man. I mean, we should be past the point that we say, oh, it's not one man. It's okay. We have broadened our horizons to realize it takes a team. It's just not one person. It takes the country. It takes the citizens. It takes us being active, which we've been talking about a lot. So many great things are happening with people waking up and doing the right thing, taking action, trying to take control over their health choices. And, that diaper, I'm sad to say in the area that I'm at, when I go out, there's still an awful lot of people that have that on. And, I think, well, God bless you. I say a little prayer, but at least I'm not forced to wear it anymore. So that's a good thing. So
we got our new governor, so we're not forced anymore either.
Great. But there's still people wearing them, I bet.
Yeah, I think it's habit.
Yeah,
It's been so
yeah.
long.
Well, and listen, you ladies spoke about it earlier. You know, the indoctrination process. Our young women in 2000, we had a generation of teachers that had been through the indoctrination process on the college campuses, and then they entered into our public school system. So they were indoctrinated. They accepted government knows best what to do for the citizens and the people, and that's the way they view it. And if government wants to change the curriculum, they just go along to get along, and they follow. You know, if not everybody even watches TV, but the indoctrination and the fact that, okay, what did we say in the 60s? Hey, okay, hey, stop. Whenever you get together, there's a couple things we don't want you to talk about as people. Don't talk about religion.
Oh, yeah.
And don't talk about politics.
That's right.
Don't do that. You know, that's you're seen as rude if you do that. That's not appropriate behavior in a family forum. So then our children don't ever hear the politics. And the big thing is, and they'd always put it first, and everything that I went back and looked at that came out of Berkeley, religion. Stop openly having conversations about religion. Why do they want to remove God? Why is that important to them?
Because they want to stay in charge.
And how many churches, in the U.S.,
God's in
when
charge.
you look at church attendance, people that are raising their children with a religious understanding, just religion.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about being true Christians and how, we don't have Bible studies set up for children, which is an absolute necessity in my mind. And, that's what I give to my great grandson, because my grandchildren are well versed. So it's up to us. But for every one of us, there's one person that's not ever going to buy into this. There might be, 50% of this nation. I think we're so evenly split. And I base that on the science and the study of what the vacations, when I look at all the data and you take total number of injections and you divide it by the 330 million of us. Well, when they try to tell us, oh, you got 65% having fully vacation. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's not physically possible. If they go and it takes 2 doses and then 3 doses with the booster, it's not physically possible for the number of doses they've administered that there's anywhere near that. And it's actually down around 48%. Now, you think they're going to, why is the CDC not telling us the data?
Yeah, true. Hey, let's hang on a second. Hang up here with us, John, for the closure in a little bit. But we got ComSense. War Machine's going to bring in ComSense. So let's see what she has to say tonight here.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Hello.
Good. How are you, ladies and gentlemen, John?
I'm doing great.
Doing great. What's on your mind tonight, lady?
Well, I hope I can talk about this. And this is just my opinion. I don't think going to DC is going to do a dang bit of good.
Amen.
Amen.
I think so. I was listening to somebody that said that the reason why Mr. Canada backed down was because people started taking their money out of the banks.
Yes.
So my thought is, why aren't not only the truckers, but everybody, and this was my thought even before this all started, was not everybody can afford to go to Washington, D.C. The place is shut down. It's not going to do any good. Mm-hmm. Why are we not going and surrounding the liberal cities? And or doing them at our, local, one day, whatever. When the truckers come in, then we do the rally or whatever you want to call it, at our local stage instead of everybody driving cross country. I mean, the main truckers, I guess, could still drive cross country, but
Yeah.
it and my other thing is not only surround, go to your local towns, but go to the radio stations and the television stations, your local radio and television stations. You honk those horns so loud, they're not going to be able to ignore you. They have to report on it.
That's true.
If
That's
you're
Well,
true.
now
right in their face.
yeah, but you're going to be
So,
you're going to have you're actually going to be breaking the law in some of those things, and you got to be very guarded about that.
oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and that's what happened up in Canada. There were some things that they did, the bridge and the shutting down of interstate or international commerce like that. There was some legalities that they broached. But
Mm,
I'm dealing with a convoy, and just for support, I'm going to organize people to be out, and have already got the approval of the sheriff to be out on a frontage road along Interstate 10, or we'll line it with our flags and our signs, crying for simply freedom, not anything about the mandate, any of that,
right,
freedom. And
Yeah.
and,
right.
and guess what? That's lawful. They don't have any problem with it. In fact, they'll
Sure.
go out there and they're going to put some guys out there to make sure the traffic lets us have our frontage road to use. And if we get down to where it's just one lane access for people traveling down those roads, fine. They have no problem with that as long as we're not permanently blocking both lanes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
and but you're spot on. And if you wanted to really, number one, that 10 square miles in DC, I wouldn't enter that for
No,
God
it's
nor
foreign.
money.
It's
That's
foreign.
their turf.
That's
That's their
Yeah,
it.
turf. They know the rules. We don't have any rights there.
And
right.
don't we already have that proof. We can look at our brothers and sisters that are still held in captivity,
It's awful.
Yep.
from January 6th, and that's a fact. So
Well,
why
Just
would you put
awful.
yourself at that kind of risk, huh?
so yeah,
Yeah.
does anybody on the panel have any kind, or even in chat, you can type it, any kind of theory for that we can have a starting base to try to figure it out, because they're smart people. So it's
Mm,
not like they aren't. So, is it something they know we don't, possibly?
Well, from
no,
my
doubt it.
understanding, from the group of guys that I'm talking to, and that's Louisiana, but there's people that are coming all the way from California, and there's going to be a
Yeah.
meetup and a stopping point. There's a large stopping point uh, just on the west side of Lake Charles that they're going to gather before they take off again, and that they're actually, these guys are on board with us. They're logical thinkers, they're good men, and they listen, and they've had great conversations. I love listening to their conversations because they're actually having to sign agreements that there will be no violence, and wonderful stuff, huh?
It's
And
Uh-huh.
crazy
that,
that you even have to do that.
well, but it's freedom, and
It's for your own protection, I know, but still, it's
yeah.
kind of crazy.
Well, and here's the thing,
So,
because you don't know everybody that's getting in a truck, you know,
Yeah.
and and
so
and and could
Go
there
ahead.
be some radical elements that attempt to hijack the movement?
Yeah.
Yes,
mm,
there will
Yes.
be.
Yeah. Mary, yeah. Common sense, you were going to say something?
so I understand. I lived through the summer of love here
Ah,
in the cities in Minnesota,
oh Lord.
and yeah, those it really made me mad when those people were blocking the freeways. I actually had a friend of mine who was trying to get her daughter to the emergency room in her car because she was having an asthma attack and could not get through. It is illegal and unlawful to block freeways. However, I have done mo- uh, every year we do a motorcycle um, thing for the veterans. Okay. And what we do is we start at a location and then we go around 694, 494, and the cops actually escort us. You know,
Cool.
it's a not a freedom ride, but a veterans ride. And
Mm-hmm.
that way you're not blocking traffic, but you're still out there in a so called convoy, but it's bikers, right? And you just why don't they do a slow roll around the what are those bypass freeways around the cities?
And
where they're not blocking traffic, but
that's in the conversation, and you got to think about the massive numbers, and that's why they've had that conversation. The legal limit, the slowest you can go in the state, and I guess each state may have a different
45 on the freeways.
45 45 miles per hour.
Generous.
But if you've got 70 miles of truck traffic side by side in both lanes of the interstate going 45 mile an hour, and you do it all the way across the entire, from California all the way to the East Coast and then up the East Coast, and then you go back and you get back in line and you do it again, you will have the effect of shutting down and limiting and letting them know, letting the American people come out and celebrate what you're doing and be seen, get it out, post the videos, let Americans see it. And then listen, they can't lawfully do anything to you.
Exactly.
Lawfully. That's the hang up. Lawfully.
Well,
they
then we got
passed some
lawsuits
emergency act like what's his face did. They come up with this emergency thing. I mean,
So Scad, you think they'd reveal themselves as the tyrants that they are?
Yeah, well, they are. Well, they're also idiots. But I'm waiting for that part. I'm waiting for the idiot part. I haven't seen that yet.
Can't wait for all the
I watched him today. I should have called you. I'll let you know the next time he's going to be on, Scad.
So I got one more point.
Yes, go ahead, ComSense.
And what about if we know when they're coming to each city and they actually do that slow roll?
Yeah.
And I know this might be a problem for most people, but I'm totally fine with taking all my money out of the bank 2 days before they get here, because my bank already sent me a letter that they're shutting down on March 4th, and they're sorry for any inconvenience. They don't know when they're going to be back up. Yeah, exactly. So take your money out of the bank, make the stock market crash, because that's what we need. Is the stock market to crash. And
it's already underway.
It will.
Well, it is, but it would make it crash a whole lot faster, because that's why the DS had Mr. Fancy Pants up in Canada back off, was because they were afraid that their banks were going to crash, because the central bank was going to crash, because people were taking their money out of the bank because of the Emergency Act.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. That leads me to a quick little segment for the go to info@milesfranklin.com and get some silver if you're going to do that. You can put in Liberty Warrior Nation in that subject line, and they'll give you, the best on the silver there. So if you're going to do that, instead of keeping it all, maybe just invest some in the silver at Miles Franklin.
Well,
that would be
you could do that, but put it back in the bank after they stop pushing us around.
That's the one. That's a great advocacy that we could all do. That's a simple thing that we could all do. But then what we're going to find out is just like our old great grandparents and grandparents found out when they made the run on their banks. Those banks don't have to keep 10% of your capital in there. They don't have the cash. I went one time with a very large check, because I was traveling international and I wanted my money, and I went into one of their little branches, and the lady looked at me in shock. She goes, "Mr. Estabrooks, we don't have that much cash. We'll have to get some cash from the main branch." I said, "What do you mean you don't have that much cash? I've got that much in my bank account right now." And she goes, "Well, no, sir, we don't actually keep your." I said, "I got you, sis. I know what you're talking about." So you would think it would have a huge impact, but when only 10% of what they have in their books do they have to have on hand. Okay. Wow. And think, so after the first 20 or 30 people get in and get theirs, there's not going to be any more to come.
That's like when It's a Wonderful Life. That's why they didn't. No, don't take all of it. Just take what you need.
That's exactly it. That's exactly. But here's the thing.
Go ahead. Wait 1 second, John. Go ahead, Mary.
No, I was just going to confirm that is indeed the truth. People really don't understand that if they want to get some of their money out of the bank, they're wise to start doing it in smaller increments if
Exactly.
they want to get their money out. And then they have to remember that that's paper. It's not actually money.
Yeah.
It's just paper. And so it is a good time, really. It's been a good time for the last few years to be thinking about putting the paper into the form of metal. But you see, what happens is up in Canada, nobody thought that the government would actually have the courage to freeze the accounts of people who have supported the truckers. Trust me, that can happen anywhere. That
Anywhere.
can happen in Oklahoma.
Yep.
That
Flip
can
of a
happen in
switch.
Florida.
Yep.
And so if you really want to be aware of what's going on, it is prudent. I'll tell you a quick story. When I first moved down to Mexico, I don't trust any of the banks. I don't trust the banks in the United States. I don't trust any of the banks, period. And I first moved down to Mexico. I trust the Mexicans banks even less. And one day I drove up and I was going to withdraw a little money, and I looked up and there was this huge chain, interlocking chain around the front door of the bank that I had opened an account at. And I looked at there's about 11 o'clock in the morning. I thought, oh my stars. And so I started cruising past every hour just to see if the bank would open. It did not open. It did open the following day. But when I went, the same thing happened to me that happened to John. I'm telling this story so people understand that John's experience is not isolated. I went to the bank. I walked in. I went up to the teller. They had the line. They had everybody, with the little diaper on their face and all that stuff. And I said I want to withdraw X amount of money, and they said, "Oh, so sorry, senora. No tengo dinero." That means no. We don't have any money. And I said, what? I mean, it was like, what? That was not acceptable. And she said, no, yeah, we don't have any money. And so I, of course, went back to the branch manager, and she said, oh, no, don't worry, Miss Keller. Don't worry, Miss Keller. It is not unusual for us to not have any money. And I said, okay, you lost me. This is a bank. Why is it? It's very unusual to me for you to not have any money. And she said, oh, no, Miss Keller, the money truck coming from Guadalajara had a flat.
Yeah, there you go.
No
Right.
money.
Sure.
No money.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, you guys, we got Hannah in here that's been waiting a while, so let's get Hannah in.
Hey, I'm going to drop out, ladies. I got to do some research. I want to get on with Mike later on.
Okay.
Well, it's not later on. It's in 10 minutes. We're cutting
Yeah.
it. Mike's
hurry.
That's it.
Kick me out of here.
That's why I'm leaving.
Got 10 minutes now and 10 minutes of intro, so go.
I got to get some coffee. Bye.
You got to get coffee.
Bye, John.
Okay, let's bring
Love
Hannah.
you.
Love you. Bye. Hannah, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How are you?
Good. How are you doing? Thanks for waiting.
No problem. No, you guys earlier were talking, John, I think, was talking about the fact that those stormtroopers in Canada were Americans. All my life, I've had people tell me that I notice things that nobody else notices.
Okay.
And I say this for a reason. I was listening to on one of the channels, someone talking about the July incident at the Capitol. And they were talking about the police officers there at the Capitol and how scared they looked. And they kind of showed a short film, and there was a short, dark-haired young girl. She looked probably like she was early 20s, maybe. And she looked frightened, half out of her wits. And so the other day I was watching a video of what was going on in Canada, and they had a video of a large Canadian man standing in front of those stormtroopers there in the tan suits, and he's confronting this young woman.
Huh.
And I looked at her and I said to myself, that's the same girl that they showed on the video in DC being scared half out of her wits.
What?
And I kept looking at her and I thought, that is the same person.
Wow.
That's very astute of you. I've noticed the same thing. There was a
Wow.
girl like 8 years old a while back when there was at the lounge, there was a big shooting or something, and she was walking around like looking for her mom, and she had, liquid on her. And then I saw her again in Arizona.
Right.
Is that
And I
what
saw her again. I saw her again at Sandy
Wow.
Hook. Saw her
Wow.
3 times.
Is that what they call crisis actors?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. But I think these are paid goons. They're private armies.
Yeah.
I really do.
Good point.
So, anyways, I just when John said that about those being Americans, I said, yeah, because that was the same gal that was standing on those steps, and they showed her face then, and it's the same gal now. I looked at her, I thought, oh my goodness, those Americans.
Funny.
And
well, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm laughing because one of our mods said, who's knocking? Is it a knock knock joke? She's making a funny. She must hear knocking.
Oh, I don't hear.
No. All right.
No,
go ahead.
Just maybe that marble rolling around in my head. I don't know.
I think we all have a couple here and there. But go ahead, Hannah.
No, I was just going to say, just kind of quickly jumping back to the conversation you guys were having last Thursday about Nephilim.
Yeah.
I went into Walmart. Yeah. There was a man, I swear he was 8 foot tall. Tiny head, big shoulders, long, lanky hands. And as I walked by him, I thought basketball player. And then I heard, no, Nephilim. and I just got this weird sensation as I walked by him. I wasn't afraid, but it was like he was kind of, his eyes were kind of darting around in his head, like he's looking around.
Jeez.
And I thought, oh my gosh. And now I woke up this morning and thought, man, I should have turned around and walked up and asked him if he was a Nephilim.
Wow.
Not a good idea.
Yeah.
But anyways, I swear, small head, really broad shoulders. I swear he was 8 foot tall. It was the most bizarre encounter, I tell you. So anyways, I just had to tell you, because I didn't get to talk to you last week, but.
Well, we appreciate you waiting so long to come up and then coming up and making the effort. Like we always say here, we love to hear from you guys. And I'm very happy, and I think Scad and Mary are too, with everybody calling in tonight, showing some bravery and courage and stepping outside their comfort zone. We love that. So I appreciate it so much.
Well, I enjoy the show. So thank you guys so much. Good night.
Well, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
I think that's going to have to be a wrap, you guys, because in 4 minutes, Mr. Mike is coming on with Jeff B. And if we don't leave, he's going to out because he has the control over the buttons eventually. So,
man.
Good. Tonight we could be on 2, 3, 4 hours, and then he's got to butt in here. No, I'm just kidding. Got to hear what Jeff B has to say. It's been a hot minute for him. So. I don't know. We can do. War Machine. Okay, shoot him in real fast, War Machine, Mountain Guy, and then that's going to have to be our last caller. Come on in, Mountain Man, Mountain Guy, Mountain Man. Hello.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Well, I've broadcasted on Red Stream a few times. My name's Mountain Man.
How are you?
On Redhead Stacker or Egg Case. Yeah, I'm doing fine. You'll have to excuse my lack of a photo. You all don't want to see me, believe that.
Well, we appreciate it. What's on your mind tonight, sir?
I'm doing all right. I hope you've got a few short minutes for me.
Sure.
Yes, I heard y'all talking about the soccer ball with Mr. Putin some time ago at the press conference in Helsinki. Now, if you'll remember, the press was very rough on our president, and it was very unfair, and they went so far as to call him a traitor. Now, if you'll bear with me, I'm going to try to pull up something that you all will find very interesting. If you can carry on for a moment, I did this on the fly, and I don't have um, the recording set up just yet, but I got something that I think you will find very, very interesting.
Okay. What's it in regards to? Because I want to make sure that it can be played. We don't get taken down or something for it.
No. Yeah, but yes, I understand. I understand how important it is for channel security. Not saying anything that's going to cause you all any problems.
Okay.
But I was setting up what I had to do. I shouldn't have come in live stream like this. If you all are ready to wrap up the show, I understand, and I could try to get with you on your next broadcast. Unless you want.
That would probably be better. And then you know what? Or even Mike's coming on right after, like in 1 minute, he's supposed to start with Jeff B. So maybe you can try to get on with him, or you can wait for us next Thursday. It's totally up to you. But I should probably wrap it up because, like I said, I've got 1 minute. I'm sweating. Big guy's going to be waiting for us to get off.
Okay, I understand, honey. Thank you so much. And at least I got to say hi to everybody.
Yes, sir. And
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
See you soon.
And see you either Thursday or, yep. Okay, good. Woo, you guys. That's a wrap. I don't even think we have time for final thoughts. I think we should just go right into prayer.
10 o'clock.
I mean, I want to mod the next show, and so I got to have time to use the restroom and refresh my drink.
Okay.
All right, let's pray us out, Mare.
Okay, let's all do it. Heavenly
Okay.
Father, we thank you for this night. We thank you for all the people that are here. We thank you for all the information that we've received. And Father, we just ask that you would bless everybody that has joined us tonight. We see angels, we claim angels all around Ukraine and Russia, and ask only the will of God be made manifest there. Please be with Shane. Father, may your will be done in his life. May his perfect health be made manifest. And Father, bless everybody in this chat. All families be brought back together. May we express and give love continually. In the name of Jesus the Christ. Amen and amen.
Amen.
Thanks, Mary. Thank you, everybody, for listening, calling in, viewing. Thank you for the super chats and the super stickers. We appreciate you. We love you. War Machine, fantastic job, sir. You're hired. So we'll see you in a few minutes with Mike. So let's get out of here. Go ahead and roll that outro, War Machine. Love you guys.